Hey, buenos dias. Hello, greetings, talofa.
What's up? What's cracking? What's good?
All that. Well, welcome to a brand new episode of The Doorman. We are those guys, evangelists.
Steven in the building.
So, it's been 3 weeks. I hope you've missed us.
Yeah.
We're going to do our duties as podcasters, YouTubers, subscribe.
Vloggers.
Yeah, you know what? This is basically our journal entries.
Yes.
The Doorman journal entries, right? But yeah, we're just journaling.
What provides you guys all for your guidance throughout the day, life, and situations.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do. We pretty much, who are we, right? Who are we? We don't have any special
Who are those guys?
talents or anything, unless you come to karaoke with the two of us. Then you realize who we are.
Yes.
Like karaoke kings over here. Yo. I mean, no, we don't want to hype things too much, but yeah, catch us at nearest karaoke bar.
Bullshit. We are the best. We are the best to ever do it.
Okay.
There's nobody that can get close to us. Except that one lady that had her literal journal entries of every song she ever sang and gave herself a rating. I did snoop a little bit.
Which one was this?
At the Seahawk.
Oh.
Remember the one that sang the range from Whitney Houston to Celine Dion to Tina Turner to
She takes the cake.
Fleetwood Mac.
She'll take the cake.
I mean, looks like she took a lot of cake in her day. But, she, in her own mind, she was the best.
All right.
So I guess it's all self-perception, right?
Yeah. Well. Okay. So we're getting all that out of the way. Another thing we got to get out of the way is shout out to Westby. Good culture. We appreciate you always hooking us up with the gear. Yeah. One day soon, you will be allowed to visit Westby and the Good Culture page. But it's in the process. It'll be up and running very soon.
Good things take
within
time.
Within the near
folks.
future, right?
Good things take time.
Good things come to those who wait.
Mm-hmm.
So wait it out. It's coming.
Be patient and back the fuck off. Okay.
Okay. What other? I wanted to let you guys know because again, this is our journaling, right? Shout out to the Branch Bandits. That's a softball team. My wife and I joined. We had our first win.
Very good.
Very, very, brand new team, right? We've never, none of us have played together. Everybody has different experience levels. I, for one, am not a baseball player whatsoever. My wife never played softball. Matter of fact, I joined a men's league once 10 years ago. And long story short, running the first.
They laughed you off the field.
I was running the first, hamstring gave out or popped. I went tumbling, and then everyone was looking around for the sniper because that's what it looked like. I was running and someone shot me down. But yeah, laughed off the field. It was third to the last game of the season, but never played again. And then here I am again, right? But as far as baseball experience, I have none. Let's see what else we can do. I mean,
but okay. On that note, the Fireballs are 6-0.
Okay.
Undefeated.
Okay.
Took down the league champs last week. I was not part of that game due to a recurring injury.
Okay.
But I will be there next week, and they handled business.
He has healed.
Without me.
Well,
I never heal. I just played through it.
Okay. Yep.
But they handled business. We're still undefeated. And anybody who wants a piece, come see about us.
Not true. Because we have challenged this undefeated team, and they just weren't willing to come and play.
Well, okay. Now, in our defense, it's like if we were to call the Dodgers and say, hey, do you guys want to play a game with us? They'd be like,
oh, okay.
Probably not.
We're not worthy of their Anyway, we
just didn't want to
set out the challenge.
We didn't want to get you on the field.
Hey, matter of fact, no way.
And then have you get your heart broke.
No way. Hey, you can bear witness to this. We set out the challenge, and I mean, for whatever reason, and there was some good reasoning behind it all. The challenge wasn't accepted.
Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, it'd be like us. It'd be like us calling the Dodgers.
It's
say, hey,
not true that these guys
want to get a quick niner in.
Hey,
because
it's not true.
They would dust us.
It's not true that these guys want to smoke with anybody because, I mean, obviously we offered. We said, hey, come play. We want to play, and
you're right. We didn't think
they didn't want it.
Well, okay. So for lack of a better word, we did not feel you were up.
Okay.
And there are several teams that we've played.
Okay.
That we did our thing, and certain players just don't come back.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So we beat other teams, and then these people who are those weekend warriors, softball
Okay.
teams,
All right.
just never come back.
All right.
They'll play soccer.
I'll take that.
Maybe they take up swimming.
I'll take
something
that.
less confrontational.
I will take that. They didn't want to smoke, so we were
scared.
We'll move on from that.
We were scared.
What other things can we shout out? What other things can we shout out to Grid Cycle, man? Went to a session this morning, or actually this afternoon. Awesome. To Braley, guys, if you've not heard of Grid Cycle and you like cardio, stationary bike, to the music, riding to the music, you gotta try this Grid Cycle shit. That's another thing I've offered Brother Steve an invitation to, and to no avail.
I'll tell you what.
Acceptance.
I'll go to Grid Cycle when we finish our golf bet.
Okay, fair enough. But to my defense, you were injured.
Yeah, it's way past that, buddy.
I'm saying, but you were injured. Can't come the date that we were supposed to do it.
We're way past that.
Yeah, just saying you were injured, but now you're not injured. We're ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Who's ready to go? Anyway,
hey, have you ever eaten at this place called Calaveras?
Yeah.
Popular. How do you like it?
Which one? Which location did you go
Went
to?
to the one in Whittier last night.
I went to the one I ate, San Pedro.
How was it?
I liked it.
Must be two different worlds.
Right.
Because the one at Whittier was terrible.
The one in Pedro, if this is the same chain, I liked it. It was awesome. It's cool.
Yeah. Weird painting on the wall.
Yeah. Like really artsy type.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're on an acid trip, you'd be like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Same place. The one at Whittier was garbage.
Wow.
Overpriced.
Okay.
Overhyped.
Yeah.
And just not.
It's kind of like a Mexican hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mexican hipster vibe.
Like if you were a hippie, but also just cross the border with the rest of them, you fit right in.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I, for one, am not into giving bad reviews. Come on. I mean.
What, are they going to sponsor us? I'd rather not have a sponsor.
Okay. All right, we're in the trash and businesses here.
Hey, if anything, you guys watch these episodes, I am 100% zero filter, keeping it real.
Right.
And if you go to the one in Whittier, don't.
I, on the other hand, I want to just, if I had the opportunity to blow rainbows and butterflies out of both ends, that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
I love the positivity. I want to give the good vibration out there. But
go eat the one in Whittier and tell me that you blow rainbows. You know what you'll say? The best thing about that place was when I left that place.
Wow.
Garbage.
Wow. You know what? Another thing I've come to find out, though, right? Well, I mean, just growing up.
And a lot of Anheuser-Busch beer products, which was,
Okay.
I was
anyway,
with that.
Oftentimes, it's not the place you go, it's who you're with, right? So maybe you weren't.
Oh, no, I was with solid people.
Oh, okay. And then all of you guys agreed that this place was just garbage.
Yep, we got the bill and we're like, what the fuck? What?
Was the experience prior to the bill, was the experience any good?
Driving there, having a conversation in the vehicle was good. Sitting down at the table before you ordered anything was good.
good.
The chips were shit.
Chips. Ooh. You know what? That's often an indicator. If the
I should have known.
chips,
I should have known.
if the chips and salsa are subpar, usually that's the indicator right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
hey,
the tacos are $6 a piece.
trash and calaveras. Okay.
Fucking that.
Jeez, it's Christians.
$6
You know,
for 3, maybe.
you know what's funny, man? I had a conversation with guys in front of Irisher in Seal Beach, and somebody came down Main Street charging $5 for tamales
A piece.
a piece. Sinful.
Mm.
Very sinful. Very sinful. $3, you might get away with it.
Right.
$5. I know it's Seal Beach and it's like an uppity community.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why.
not uppity, but
That same person charging on 4th and Orange is probably $1.50.
right, $1.75 at most.
Yeah.
Right, and then all of a sudden you roll
Sell
over
out
to
your
Main
cooler.
Street and you're like, right. You go
You're
to
like,
Main
oh,
Street,
look
all
at
of a sudden $5.
Look at all these Teslas.
Yeah. And then to top it off, they were just average tamales.
Of course.
They weren't even.
Oh, if they were above par, they'd have been 10.
Hey, here's a survey. Mexican tamales or El Salvadorian tamales?
What, the
Which
black
would-
olive tamales?
I mean, come on, those tasty. Anyway,
You already know my
if
view.
if you're out there and you want to comment on that, Mexican or
What the Salvador's copied.
well, I think all that southern area from southern Mexico all the way down to Central America, I think all of it, they have the same type of deal. The banana leaves.
They just put olive in it and it's different?
I think the masa texture is different too.
Mm.
I don't know. Comment. I mean, let me know, man, because I've had some great Mexican tamales, but I've had some awesome El Salvadorian tamales, and then Guatemalan is kind of the same.
What do they put in it? It's different.
It's
A radish?
again. It's just the texture of the masa.
Mm.
So they put whatever in.
You like the sweet tamales?
I'm not a big
Can't.
fan. I
Can't
mean,
do it.
dessert tamales.
It's one thing when somebody at work brings them in and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be, pork or chicken, and you take a bite
And it's pineapple.
and it's strawberry, and you're like,
No, but often when they warn me, they're like, "Oh yeah, there's raisins in that one." And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. I can, again, with good what is that one champurrado?
Mm.
When you have one of those dessert tamales with the champurrado, now you're talking, right?
Yeah, but you're aware.
Yeah.
It's just like when somebody says, hey, do you want to have a drink of this Coke? And you think it's Coke and it's Sprite. It's different.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Here's the tamale. Oh, great. Let me try it. I hope it's chicken. And then it's fucking strawberry. What the hell?
And strawberries aren't even that sweet.
No.
So like you bite into it and you're expecting you're like, what is this?
Yeah, and it's like one sliver of a strawberry inside all of fucking dough.
Obviously, Steven hasn't had very many good experiences with tamales.
Just the homemade ones.
Yeah.
Or the ones that we used to buy at Christmas when we were all younger. Those were good.
Yeah, you know what I love? I love when families, like I'm Samoan, so we have no experience with tamales on holidays and shit. But I love when like the Mexican homies or they say, oh yeah, all of our mothers, aunts, cousins get together and they do the tamale making, thing for a holiday. I'm like, oh yeah, sign me up. I'm here to,
To taste.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
taste test
Yeah.
all my life. So, if you guys are out there and you guys need a taste tester, that is me. It is I.
If you want an honest taste tester.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I might blow some rainbows and butterflies.
I was like, wow, you're going to serve that to people? That's terrible.
Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. If you want to get shit on, there's your guy right here. If you are signing up to get literal
If you want an honest opinion,
bird
ask
shit
me.
dropped on your head.
Because I'll be like, wow, really? I don't think they'd serve this in prison. Try again.
If you
Start
want,
over.
Hey, if you want your abuela's recipes to get shit on, this is your guy.
Well, it's again how she made it was probably a lot better than when
If you want-
when you're one step aunt.
If you want to report to your abuelita
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest.
and cause her to cry, this is your guy.
I'll be honest with you. I was like, God. Are you serious? Is this a joke?
Horrible. So guys, we'll wrap that segment of the show up and move on to a much more enlightening. So what we decided to do, right? Again, this is our journaling, right? The Doorman, we are journaling. So one thing that's been like very important, or I mean, in life for everyone, right, is motivation, right? Like what motivates people to do what they do? What motivates us? What type of motivation do we? What type of motivation do we receive, or what type of motivation are we propelled
Right.
forward by, right? And then so motivation. See, what I wanted to clarify before we move on to the thing, motivation is not like a feeling, right? Like it's not like, oh, I feel good this morning, therefore I'm motivated to do something. When I speak on motivation, right? What are you driven to do, regardless of how you feel, right? So like this morning, hung over like nobody's business, right? But I knew that I had this grit cycle session already booked, and then if you miss this grit cycle session, you get charged, blah blah blah. So without fail, I'm up, caffeinated, off to this grit cycle situation because I love it, right? I'm motivated, at a certain age, I understand that we got to do things, right? You got to do things to keep the blood flowing. Blood flow is great for the health. As much crap as I do to my body, I also got to counter those crappy measures with some healthy things. So motivated to consistently go to these grit cycle sessions, right? So give me an example of something you are motivated to do.
Well, I really do try to not get so frustrated anymore.
Okay.
So a motivation of mine is to not let the little things bug, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard. It's very, very, very difficult for me to not let little things. But hanging out with you, being friends with you for the past 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, constantly run through my mind. Because if something breaks off and I tell you about it, I know you're gonna be like, why even react? Why even let these fools bother you? So a motivation of mine is to be more patient and constantly remind myself to not let things get under my skin.
Well, you do understand, right? When you allow things to get under your skin, you have handed over control to someone
Right.
else, right? And then so we want to be in ultimate control, right?
Right.
So hey, guys, hold on really quick.
Oh.
I have two.
And then another motivation is to always be the best, right? No matter what you're doing, or always at least give your best. To at least try to be the best that you can be in whatever situation, whether it be work, softball, grit cycle, bouncing, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Always be the best that you can. And some days I definitely don't put my best foot forward, but it's a motivation to be I guess for people who look up to you in any situation, to be like, well, he did it, he can do it,
So
did
can
it.
I.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the presidential race going on right now, and I've mentioned this guy before, this guy named Vivek Ramaswamy. As this guy talks about America and what his future plans is once he gets into office, one thing that he's constantly bringing up is merit, right? And then, like Stephen says, driven to do your best, driven to be your best, driven to live up to some type of a standard, right? A standard of excellence, a standard of consistent, greatness or whatever, whatever it is, you can reach it in that direction. It's an American, it really is an American concept, right?
Yeah.
Like this whole idea of like, we have this right, to pursue happiness, right? Well, that pursuit of happiness, from my experience, it truly comes when you take whoever you are and excel to whatever range of greatness you can accomplish, right? Because that's in truth, like, again, who are we, right? Who are Stephen and I, right? We're two individuals who have bought into this idea, right? We've bought into this idea of American exceptionalism, and we strive towards that way. And we talk about what motivates us. I believe we're in agreement with this. Like, that's definitely a motivation,
Right.
That's definitely something that we can agree that, like, as two males, as two men in this country, as two men in our communities, as two men in our households, we strive to be our very best on a daily.
Right.
Right?
Well, the pursuit of happiness that's guaranteed in the Constitution, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's the pursuit that's guaranteed. A lot of people misconstrue that as happiness is guaranteed, right? The pursuit of happiness is guaranteed. So that they're guaranteeing you the right that you have the right to chase what makes you happy. If you are a homeless individual or a drug addict or a criminal, that is the path that you chose. Whether it makes you happy or not, that is the path of pursuit, or the pursuit that you took. Whatever makes you, whether it's the temporary money or the temporary high or the fact that you don't have any bills or you're not on the grid and you don't listen to anybody, that is the pursuit that you chased, right? That's your happiness.
Right.
Whether it's happiness in somebody else's eyes, that's a different story. But your pursuit to make you the happiest person you can be, that is what's guaranteed. A lot of people think that they come to America and they just have the guaranteed right to be happy and do whatever they want.
Sure.
That's exactly what that means.
But oftentimes, right, like this supposed happiness, right? It quickly comes into question, right? Like, once they start to compare their situation with someone else's, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes you'll hear about, especially with social media connecting everybody's like doings, thoughts, happenings. You start to see this compare and contrast thing, right? Oh, I'm getting this end of the stick and I'm not getting that end, and why is that?
Right.
Why is, and what we fail to understand is that, first off, that comparison thing, that is automatically going to send you into a place where happiness doesn't exist, right?
Right.
Because if you're not focused in on you and what you're capable of doing to propel yourself forward, incrementally, eventually, right? If you're not focused on those things, you are bound to find unhappiness, right? If you're focused on the things externally, oh my God, what a doomed future you are headed for.
Right.
Because,
well, it's just like those people, those influencers, right?
Yeah.
It's so quick to become an influencer. Whether you're doing stupid shit and recording it and everybody's like, haha, what a dipshit, but they watch your videos, or whether you're an influencer that how to do makeup or hair or whatever the fucking case may be, that's a very, very short or like limited window of success, right? Because there's only so much you and I can do about the proper way to shave our heads, right? There's only so many videos you can do before you start repeating the nonsense. And that's just like why certain shows go off the air. There's only so much you can do before it's just monotonous, ridiculous shit.
Well,
right?
I mean, we can say the same thing about what you and I are doing, right? I mean, because we often repeat.
It definitely shows in the views.
Hey, but you know what? Did we get into this thing with the idea that, oh, we're gonna be getting like crazy amount of views?
But also we got into it knowing that we had a goal, right? On Spotify it was 100 downloads.
Mm-hmm.
We killed that. Then we got kicked off Spotify. But you know, we have
because we still paying
well,
subscription.
and we got one of our episodes scrubbed, which is bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But you know, little goals. We didn't come into this. We didn't quit our jobs
Right.
and put all of our money into this to become the next Joe Rogan. Because, you know,
that guy's a 1 in a million.
Right, but you'd also have to sell out, I believe, for that to work.
I don't necessarily think so. I don't think Joe Rogan sold out.
No, I'm not saying him. I'm saying for us to make successful money on a podcast, we would have to 100% pick a side.
Yeah.
And run with it, and we couldn't be in the middle.
No.
Because that's not success.
No.
It's either you're with us or against us, right? And right now, if you're against us, you're against all these temporary happiness-seeking individuals.
I mean, again, you know, I don't assume I don't assume that we're setting any type of bars in anything we do. As a matter of fact, our pursuit of happiness is exactly this vlogging thing, right? Like, we just enjoy doing this. I know I do. Steven, I just enjoy doing this, right? I wish I had we could do it more often, right? If time would permit us to, if our schedules, you know, would eventually, I would love to do this, you know, a lot.
Right.
You know, maybe 5 times. But, you know, because we've chosen to do other things, because we have other priorities in life, you know, this is the pastime that's, you know, being allowed to us.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just, in all honesty, man, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be here, right? In this life, in this journey, right? And it's speaking of motivation, gratitude, right? Being grateful is a driving force, right? As far as just being grateful and finding that next reason or that next something that sparks gratitude. That's another motivating thing, right? So, you know, one thing that we've always kind of like, you know, it's been a theme, right? It is when you pursue difficult tasks, or when you insert yourself into difficult situations, knowing that an outcome, a beneficial outcome is bound to follow. Holy shit, right? Example, when I left my previous job, right? I in no way imagined that my next move was gonna be simple, right? As a matter of fact, there was a lot of time and thought that just consumed me, just thought, right? I would, you know, we always say we value the thought process, right? Well, in this time, after this job and on to another something, there was just like constantly thinking, what do I do? I didn't leave that with any type of plan, right? I just knew that there was a pivotal moment where I'm gonna make a stand. There was some bullshit coming down the pipe, and then made the move, right? But jumping into that difficult situation, knowing that, you know what, no matter what, I have what it takes to come out of it so much better than staying in and you know, taking the bullshit.
Right.
So getting into that difficult situation, thinking out the planning out the next move, eventually landing in a situation that I am in today, making double the money I was with, you know, with the school district. So I'm absolutely grateful. And that process leading to this grateful thing is it's been a trial. It's been like a lot of ups and downs, but just to find these moments of gratitude, even from day to day, right? Even from day to day, you know, saying, okay, man, I'm gonna, because I've worked for 3 different trucking companies since I've started this journey, right? And this third one, shout out to Pacific Cargo Express, awesome group. But I am in a position where, wow, I'm just so grateful to go to work every day, right? So grateful to be a part of this team, be a part of these, you know, there's 6 guys in this, 7 if you count our investor, awesome dude. But, you know, just to be a part of this little small squad, we're pushing to, you know, get this company growing and expanding. But every day there's like some spark of gratitude, right? Waking up, being able to jump in this truck, the truck works, you know, we're moving, we've got loads to move. It's just gratitude. Like, I'm just grateful to be a part of that situation.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if this is a motivating factor, but anything that comes my way, right? Anything, good or bad, I know that there's going to be a little bit of a downslide, but at the end, I'll be better than I was. So maybe that's the motivating factor of just, you know, experience, like just taking what comes at you and knowing, maybe not right away, like some time and thought and process, that lets you know that at the end of the day, everything will be fine. And then one day you're going to wake up, you're not even going to remember what the problem was, right?
Right.
So, I don't know, perseverance, maybe, endurance. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the proper verbiage would be. But anything that's come my way, again, good or bad, it's always, you're on the back end of that situation, you're always better than you were. Even if it's learning some stupid shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like learning not to overspend, or learning not to, you know, want the newest thing just because it's out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like little life experiences like that, you know, at the end of the day, you don't really need it, right?
Okay.
You want it, but there's other things that are necessary, like bills, that kind of shit. So, I don't know. I've had some difficult experiences as an adult, and in the beginning, it's just like, oh, I'm never gonna get through this, and then you wake up one day and you're like, wow,
You're like, I made it.
yeah, because time waits for nobody,
No.
right?
No.
So, yeah, I don't know. And then realizing, just being an adult, I guess, is
An adult.
that certain things that people say are made up, are constructs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like time is a construct.
Absolutely.
Closure is a construct.
Absolutely.
Things that, you know, that have these are old cliches, you know, like time heals all wounds.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, when you're younger, you're like, whatever. But now, you know, as an adult, you're like, yeah, that's true. So that's really the only thing that gets you through things. That and your perseverance.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, who could stop you, right?
You know what? You kind of touch on a lot of things, right? Like in that last segment, you touch on a lot of things. First off, you touch on the idea that, you know, learning some type of self-control to you know, to somehow not battle, but deal with the refraining, you know, from like upgrading, you know,
Right.
to the next thing.
The next newest phone?
Right, the next newest phone, the next newest anything, right? We live in a society, right, where this like consumer system has, right, and it's not a bad thing. It's not like you know, it was some type of an evil that is like chasing everybody down to, you know, create zombie consumers,
The
right?
next drug.
Right. It's not that. I'm not trying to cast light on any systemic, you know, systemic monster, right? But what has happened and what we're witnessing, right? Ever since we were kids, right? With the commercials, advertisement, marketing, they flash all these little, familiar images and these familiar ideas or these attention grabbing concepts, right? That have caused us to like, yo, yeah, look at this new product, look at that new product, look at this new thing. Let's, we have to do this. Again, if you're constantly looking out, speaking on the motivation, if you're constantly looking out and getting enveloped or captured by things outside of you, you can absolutely fall victim to this, and it's not some systemic monster. I'm not saying like, oh, these guys are wrong. These marketers are targeting our young and they're killing us. But the job of this like system, if we can call it a system, is to get you to consume, right? And you're going to trade your resources to be able to consume the products that they have for you, right? So again, we're talking on motivation, and your motivation can't necessarily be external, if this is making sense at all, right? You have to rely on your internal needs.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it can't be material shit either, right?
No.
Like, motivation can't be maybe it can. I want to wake up and buy
what about the pursuit for money or
yeah,
the reason we have jobs.
But even the pursuit of money, you're still investing your time, right?
Sure.
So it's still an investment in yourself. But if you, like, if you all of a sudden came up on $1 million, the average person would blow half of it before they even really thought about, oh shit, I only have half left.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that question that people ask all the time: if you win the lottery, what's the first thing you do?
Well, me.
Yes, you.
I would go and invest it, right? Invest the winnings, and then take a loan out.
Yeah, see, that's like for me. I would set my family up, like first, right? And then, but I'm also intelligent enough to know that I'm probably gonna easily blow $1 million just like that.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, just because I can.
Well, only because I've
But on material shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go get the newest Dodge truck, right? Because I've always wanted that.
Yeah.
Now I have the thing, so I'm just gonna go get it.
With the Hellcat engine.
Yeah, and then you think about it, like, what is that? Like, yeah, I have that truck, but what does that do? Like, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything, but I mean, is a truck gonna motivate you to get up and make that payment? I guess it. Or is it the person asking for the bill that's motivating you to make that payment?
You know what? Let's talk about what these things actually do, right? When you have the newest thing, right? What does it actually do? What does it fulfill within you, right?
It for a very short time, right? You have the newest thing. It's like the iPhone, right? iPhone's a good example of this. Like, for a very short time, only a certain number of people had the iPhone, right?
Right.
Now everybody and their fucking mother has an iPhone. So now the race is who has the best iPhone,
Right.
the biggest storage, whatever, the biggest screen, blah blah blah. So it's temporary, right? Yeah, hey, look what I got. People are like, oh, that's amazing for one day, and then everybody forgets,
right,
or doesn't really give a shit. You know what I mean? And then you're stuck with this phone, let's say in this example, that at the end of the day only makes calls, right? That's really what it's. Remember the bricks, the Nokias?
Yeah.
All that was phones and texting, and it took 10 minutes to send a message that says, "Hey, where are you?" Because you got to,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's communication, but now all these extra things, the social media, the instant posting, the
ability to instantly connect with somebody and see if they read your message, see if they're replying to your message, see if they're ignoring your message. All of the intrigue of what it was to call somebody's house back in the day is gone.
Gone. It's gone. So, okay, let's touch on that then, right? So, again, this whole consumer thing and what it provides. Let me try to describe what I've come to find out, or what I've come to learn, and I'll say it about myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me as a human being, I have this natural black hole of a void, right? There's a void, and I'm not saying every human being has it, but I personally have realized that there's that void, right? And then so this whole pursuit for happiness is a filling of that void, right? And then so all of a sudden, right, we're in this world, and we start to get exposed to all of these different, as I was explaining before, you know, the all these external drives, right? Advertisement, friends influencing, family influences, you know, all of these different external things, right? And they're like kind of like a flashing light to get my attention, right?
It's subliminal.
And then so, right? Well, I mean, it's not even subliminal a lot of times. A lot of times it's just real overt, you know, these things are just coming at you, right? Like your friends. Like they're not, you know, real friends, they're not going to be subliminal. They're going to be like, hey, homie, this is what you got to do. Why you, look at what I don't shoot. What I don't.
Hey, charge the softball when it rolls to you.
Yeah. So all of these different, like, influences, all of these different indicators are constant, you know, in this human experience, right? And it's, again, if you're constantly looking to fulfill all that external stuff before you've recognized that, hey, I have a void, and this stuff could potentially be trying to fill it. You know what I mean? Again, that could be a very harmful practice to your existence.
Right.
Like if you don't initially recognize that, right? But all of a sudden, growing up, maturing, and it's not even all of a sudden, I say all of a sudden as a stupid segue. Anyway, but
30 years ago.
Yeah. You grow up, you mature, you realize, hey, I've got to take care of this little void thing going on, right? So what can truly plug this void up, right? Personally, I've come to understand that I have a spiritual aspect to my life, right? So I put a lot of focus into this spiritual practice, like prayer. I recognize that I was created by a divine creator. Like there is no way that I come to be by some accident. There's no way that I'm my body functions in the way that it does just by accident, right? So I've come to realize, to me, there's some divine thing out there. You know, I call him God, right? Other people, you know, they choose to recognize
Vishnu.
Yeah, whatever it is you recognize. I've been put onto this earth by a creator. And then so my relationship with this creator, my constant acknowledgement of his role in my life, or the role in my life, is fulfilling this void, right? And because that happens, because the void is already plugged, all of these external indicators, all of these external flashing lights that come in the form of everything I listed, friend influences, family influences, marketing influences, whatever.
Right.
They are so secondary, right, to this relationship that I have with this divine being that has given me life, that has blessed me with opportunity, that has allowed me on this journey, right? All of that stuff is secondary. As soon as I came to the realization that the filling of the void is there, then I can move and recognize everything for what it truly is. Right? Like, I am an individual before I am a son. Right? I mean, I of course, you know, I was birthed to these parents who were absolute gifts, blessings, right? But they birthed an individual, so I have to recognize that as an individual, I have this obligation, I have this responsibility to this individual. And then I have an obligation and responsibility to them. Same with my siblings, right? I'm an individual, and then I'm a sibling, so I have responsibilities and obligations to my siblings. So you start to fulfill these roles, right? With the understanding that I'm whole, and because I'm whole, I can fill these fulfill these roles, right? And again, guys, I'm not describing anything that I'm pushing onto you. This is what I've come to conclude in my own journey.
Right.
And if it helps you, if it helps you to kind of delve into it, then hey, by all means, run it. But this is what's been a part of me, and you know, since I'm journaling, now you know I'm sharing it with you. But again, we have to recognize the within before all of this without it comes into play for us. So that's my thought process on the whole situation.
Yeah.
I hope it helps.
Well, with me, it took me a while to understand that I need communication, right? I need to have open communication with people, and if I'm left to interpret what somebody says to my own, I, like, especially at work, I 99% of the time think it's aggressive and they're coming at me sideways. Because I read it with my interpretation of that email, right?
Right.
So I've learned to it's difficult still, but don't read the email in this example with, like, try to read it from somebody else's point of view. Don't read it with your interpretation of what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like, communication. Some people always tell me I'm an over communicator in certain things. I don't know when to essentially stop arguing or talking about a situation.
Okay.
But for me, in order for me to get past that situation, I need, and again, that's a problem, internal, self-recognition. I understand that some people don't want to continue to talk about it. Some people's vision of communication is talk about it for 30 seconds, it's over, it's ended. I need to know why, when, where, how, and what.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to your point with, like, marketing, right? Like, it's funny to me now, like, walking around Target, for example. You walk down, like, the toy aisle. There's He-Man toys from when we were younger.
Right.
The OG shit.
Right.
On the rack now.
Right.
The OG Ninja Turtle shit. OG G.I. Joes. OG Transformer shit. It's all cyclical, right? It's all very cyclical. But then you realize, then you look at, like, you see a clip from one of the new Transformers. And it's like, they're going into the whole inclusive shit. This is a cartoon, right? About robots from another planet that speak English, that help humans, that are now understanding that they don't know how to talk to each other as robots, so they're they and them. These are fucking robots. They don't have dicks. They don't fuck. They're made, right? They're created by the cube, right? So it's and then He-Man, and then it's like I said that on a couple episodes ago. Like, He-Man was probably the gayest cartoon character ever in the history of cartoons. But when you and I were younger, we don't see a grown man running around in a Speedo with a chest protector, all yoked out of his mind, riding a tiger. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that. You see He-Man is kicking some ass.
Yeah.
That's all you see.
Master of the universe.
Right. And then all of them are doing it. G.I. Joe is doing this inclusive shit. Transformers. The new Indiana Jones movie has inclusive language.
Hey.
It's pissing me.
Guys, he's been motivated to... he's being triggered. Guys. No, but... so, you know, what is the motivation behind all of this? Right? What is the motivation behind all of this inclusivity?
It's funny to me. Bud Light tried this.
I've got a theory.
Bud Light tried this to try to get everybody inclusive, and it blew up in their face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Miller Lite is trying it now.
Uh-huh.
Same thing, right? By saying that all those beer girls over the years in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, that they were just sex symbols used to sell beer. Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck they were.
They understood that it worked.
Because the demographic of people buying Miller Lite at the time were not 21-year-old MIT nerds in college. These were middle America, you know, NASCAR fanatics that wanted to see titties. That's it. They marketed to the fucking people who bought the beer. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, yes, that was exactly what they were there for.
Sure.
And they weren't like held by gunpoint to get in these bathing suits and pose for these pictures. It was a job. It was paid.
Right.
You got money for putting your ass on a poster. That's it.
Where we are now is a product of, we all have to understand that there's a group above us all. They're looking to be the puppeteers of us all. They are looking to control, and we see it, right? So the majority of us here, we're all taxpayers, right? We go to these jobs and we pay our taxes.
Whether you want to or not.
Whether you want to or not. What we have to understand is that all of our efforts in the form of our taxes are being funneled to this group, right? We understand it to be our government, but there is a group unseen, unelected, right? That, Donald Trump described as the deep state. Other people are seeing them as this hidden bureaucracy, right? That has been involved in the government for a long time. These groups. Now we're seeing the different agencies being like puppeteered by these different groups. FBI being one of them. I mean, you guys have, if you guys have been paying attention, there's these whistleblowers coming out and letting us know exactly what's going on behind the scenes with them. But we have to understand that there's a group, right? And then we've tried to identify them. Oh, World Economic Forum and the Klaus Schwab guy, or it's Biden and his homies or whoever. I'm not gonna try and identify the group, but there is a group, and we have to understand that control it all. These guys have the power, right? The government, the country set up with the Constitution was put into place to battle this exact type of thing, this exact type of group that's in the shadows.
Yeah.
So we've come to understand, Stephen and I, and along with a lot of Americans, we've come to understand that if we hold true to these, if we hold true to these concepts that were originated by these founding fathers, we have what it takes to remain independent of this group. But today we're finding out, we're seeing this stuff in action in the form of innocent things like cartoons, in the form of innocent things like these ads and the marketing strategies, right?
Right.
And these man, I saw Ford release some Pride truck. Did you see that?
Yep.
I mean, look, they are bombarding us with these ideas. And again, as this human experience is unfolding, you have a responsibility and obligation to yourself to go ahead and go within, plug that, that little void that you have before responding to all of this craziness.
Before you go out and buy a rainbow colored Ford,
Sure.
Just to show your neighbors
Right.
that you're inclusive.
What do they call it? Virtue signaling?
Yes, it's crazy to me. Again, since I already shit on Target, I'll continue to shit on Target. They have a whole section of this LGBTQT, which is fine. I don't care about that. But some of the stuff on the shirts and that it's bleeding into the kids' clothes is crazy to me.
Wild.
Children have no concept of gay or straight or lesbian or queer or bi or trans or whatever the I stands for, whatever the 2 stands for, whatever the brown color stands for on that fucking flag. They have no idea, no concept. The children are driven by what their parents show them. So if there's a need for kids' clothes that says queer pride on it, a little shirt for a toddler is beyond crazy to me. And then I understand, you might fall out of your chair for this one. They sell bathing suits at Target that are tuck friendly.
Tuck friendly for the extra meat.
What the fuck is that? What is that? What is there? A pouch on the side to put your balls? I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't know. If you want to look more like a female, it's meant to tuck your junk.
Yeah. So okay, great. And then okay.
I mean, I don't understand how that it's so out in the open. Again, bleeding into the children's clothes and the toys and the pet toys. Like there's a cat carrier at Target that's Pride and it's rainbow. Is it that fucking important for you to tell people that you're so okay with it that you have your cat in a rainbow carrier?
Listen, I have a thought, right? I haven't stopped. We are undergoing. I mean, we're not responsible for it. But there is a social experiment going on, right? There's a social experiment going on, and we are the lab rats, right? And we are being introduced to all of these new, they're not new ideas, right?
100% not new.
They're not new ideas. These ideas go back into antiquity, right? But the normalizing of it,
right?
We are being bombarded with the normalization of these once fringe ideas, right? But they're bombarding it. They're bombarding us with it in hopes to see if we respond in a way that would accept the normality of it, right? So what I've noticed in throughout my life, I've been here 4 decades now. If you introduce an idea to the one generation, it's not necessarily going to catch on right away, but the following generation will absolutely take it.
Right.
And then the generation after that, it'll become normal, right? So let's give an example: the World Wide Web, right? In the 90s, it was a new concept. The idea of being able to shop was on the World Wide Web it's kind of like a distant thing. You saw it coming, but wow, how normal it is in today's world, right? So take that idea and then just go ahead and plug in these queer friendly concepts, right? And understand that within 2 decades, these ideas will absolutely, on this, looking at it from this, at the beginning of this trajectory, it will reach the point that we see today with like online e-commerce, right? So just be, I don't know, I'm not saying like it's accepted or not accepted, but unless some crazy pivotal event happens, we're going to see the normalization of queer existence in 2 decades.
Yeah.
Maybe
Again,
even less.
Disclaimer: I don't give a shit who you want to fuck. I don't give a shit what you want to do. It doesn't bother me if you're gay, queer, trans, whatever. It doesn't bother me. What bugs me is when it's force-fed down everybody's throat that you have to accept it or else. That's what bothers me. And what set me off was seeing in the kids' clothes toddler-sized clothes
Mm-hmm.
with shit that toddlers, they can't even fucking read it. But you're putting your kid in a shirt that says queer pride. This is a child who has no concept of what queer is. None. Why do they need a shirt? The dinosaurs on the shirt are rainbow colored. The animals on the shirts are, it's crazy to me that there's the concept of that is way too advanced. It's too advanced for me. I don't fucking understand it. A child, a toddler, 3 and below, you don't need to have your whole family in matching queer friendly shit to let people know that you're queer friendly.
You're down with it.
Yeah, it makes zero sense.
I mean, that's the problem I have with it. It's not so much I do have a problem with the forcing it down, people's throats. But also, what kind of bugs me is that why is it that we have to now identify by sexual preferences? At one point you identified as what you were bringing to society,
Right.
What you had to offer, right? So blacksmiths, right? In the ancient days, right? Their surname would have something to do with being a blacksmith, like you're Smith or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how you were identified. Oh, that's John the blacksmith, right? Carpenters, same situation, right? That's Bill the carpenter,
Mm-hmm.
right? So your gift to society or your contribution to society was how people identified, and with that came this awesome civilization that we enjoy today, right? When people would take pride in what they would offer and who they became in that way. Now the problem with this identifying as the queer guy, it offers nothing to society.
Right.
All it does is it signals what you prefer to do behind closed doors, and what is that going to do for the benefit of your neighbor?
Right.
What is that going to do for the benefit? Right? Does that allow you to pay more? You know what I mean? Like pay your fair share of taxes? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't even know
less.
I don't even know what a fair share of taxes is, because when your tax dollars are going to the Ukraine and
Taxation is theft.
yeah, it's theft. Anyways, but how is that a contributing factor from an individual to his proximity?
Right.
It isn't, right? And that's the problem, right? When you begin to identify as your vice, that's
Right.
that's
Evan the beer drinker.
that's Brad the crackhead,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Like that is
Yeah.
that's basically what's going on,
Right.
right? Like you're identifying by the vices that you've come to accept,
Yeah.
and then you're hoping for a good outcome, right? You're hoping for a future where everyone is, everything is going to be better, and it's not. That's the problem,
Right.
right? So I think we need to throw this idea away of bombarding each other with our vices,
Right.
Like vices are meant to be kept as your personal something that you're dealing with, right? Whatever it is you do behind closed doors, keep it behind closed doors, right?
Right.
And then contribute to society what you can, what you're capable of creating,
Right.
right? Because I doubt being queer is going to create anything good for your fellow man. And that's the point, right?
Right.
That's the point in interacting with other people. It's you are hoping to benefit in your interactions.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless you're going to be blowing everybody you come into contact with and offering that therapy, I mean, come on, right? I don't know that that's what you want to. I don't know that that's what
There's
you want.
Dylan the dick sucker.
Hey, I'm coming in for my session, huh? I mean, what, right? Oh, there's Penny the prostitute, yeah, right? Like, what?
Yeah.
Unless okay, hey, I'm a firm believer. Sex is a therapeutic activity, absolutely therapeutic activity. So if that's what it is,
So why
you're
is
just
it?
going to provide therapy to the world?
Why is it the fact that prostitution
Mm-hmm.
And all this shit they're trying to be inclusive. Why is it prostitution is still so down on?
I don't think it is. I think it's
Oh,
just
100% it is.
guys.
It's still a crime.
Well, it's still a crime in a lot of places. Not in Nevada though.
No. Well, nothing's a crime in Nevada. You can murder somebody on the strip and be like, yeah, well, it's fine. It's Vegas.
What happens in Vegas?
Also, I want to, if we're getting towards the end here, I want to task the audience. If anybody can give me exactly what a tuck-friendly bathing suit is, I'm not going to Google it.
It's a
'cause I
junk
don't want
pocket.
to. How?
It holds the junk in a very specific place.
Right, behind you.
I don't know.
And you sit down and you're like, oops, yeah.
Ouch.
I just, like, what the fuck is that even a need for?
Well, I don't know.
Like, what?
Hey guys,
It's fucking crazy.
again, Steven is tasking you with an explanation. So in the comment section, feel free.
It's absolutely mind blowing that they feel that somebody felt the need. You know what we need? You know what we need to make? Somebody had a marketing plan at the bathing suit company and said, hey, you know what we should do? There's so many trans people out there now that we need to sell these on the shelves at Target.
It's become contagious, right? Like as far as identifying with this community, trans and whatnot, or
Right.
It's become a social contagion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they haven't like created more, that's what's going to happen. Like you're going to create more people who want to identify with this community, right? And sad thing though, it's going to be these individuals who come out of these very structureless homes.
Right. But also, I really think this whole thing is a fad. I really do think it is.
E-commerce was once considered a fad, and now it's a part of everyday life.
Right. Well, so were Jinko jeans. Jinko jeans were a fad.
They were a fad.
Those are gone. Bell bottoms were a fad. Those
They're
are
back.
gone. Well, not like they were. You don't see
No.
everybody and their mother wearing
But,
bell bottoms.
cyclical, like you said. You'll
Yeah.
be seeing, give it about 10 years.
And there'll be nothing but people who want nothing but manly men. The Marlboro men will be popular again.
Yeah. Hey, it's kind of like, when the village people were first a thing, right?
Right.
So I think, are we back to that cycle? It's like, yo, village people, young man. Young man.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. We're going in circles.
Guys,
now.
we're going in circles, but hey, thank you for giving us the opportunity
Yeah.
to vent and vlog
Mm-hmm.
with you.
And fuck Target.
And Anheuser-Busch.
Oh yeah, them too.
Fuck 'em.
Motherfuckers.
Anyway, love you.
We
See
gone.
you later.